talking a little bit about new patch, okay? Doing a quick patch rundown for those that want to hear my thoughts on this new patch coming out. This is mainly gonna be thoughts for high elo. Omnius, thank you for 6 months.
Do you ever get nostalgic looking back at the years you were playing pro?
Sometimes I watch like replays or like VODs or like YouTube videos. Anyway, we have Yumi rework. I don't know if this is gonna be strong or not, because honestly, I didn't play it. I didn't really look at numbers, anything like that. I just know that TLDR is she's quite different, and she kind of only attaches to one person now. She's way weaker if she attaches to anyone else than the person she assigns to at the beginning of the game, which is her ADC, or whoever she plays on bot lane with. So we'll see how it goes. Could be very OP, it could not. I have no idea. Aatrox, these buffs don't really do anything. Ashe, weaker support. Honestly, Ashe is already not played in high elo anymore because people got bored, not because she's actually bad. People just got bored of playing Ashe, so they don't play it anymore. It's just the cycle of champions in League of Legends. Just like right now, for example, a lot of high elo junglers are playing Evelynn, but like in a patch from now on, if nothing gets changed, like there's no nerfs to Evelynn, people are gonna stop playing her because they get bored of her. So, yeah, this came a patch too late. Asol, another nerf. It is what it is. I'm probably gonna play Asol way less now. It's kind of like pointless to play this champ anymore. It's really nerfed, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. Azir. So I kind of actually looked at this. I actually did look at numbers here, and my conclusion is that he's weaker. My conclusion on this is that he's actually weaker in higher elos, because it's actually nerf if you look at everything. His passive is Omega better, but passive alone doesn't make or break Azir. And another thing that could be happening is that W max Azir first is probably the new meta. That's what I came to conclusion. W max Azir might be the new meta, and then Q second. But yeah, this champ should be nerfed. They're probably gonna compensate buff him, and then I think over long periods of time he might be better. Caitlyn, small nerf. Fizz. So Fizz is getting the same type of buff that LeBlanc is getting, which is he gets full mana restore back on his ability that he uses for last hitting. This basically gives Fizz more push in lane and easier access to get CS, which is a big buff. This is not to be underestimated, and E, main ability, gets a more damage buff and less mana. Both buffs are really good and impactful. Fizz should, in general, just have less mana problems now, which makes the champion way more playable. It's still Fizz at the end of the day. He still has his weaknesses, but honestly, this is a really strong buff. Gangplank, I expect this champ to be dead this patch, like unironically dead, and especially in high elo. I think buffs are coming soon. This is too much. Jinx, so the thing about Jinx is that all these buffs are great. Attack speed, a stat that she likes, is great. It went through Rush 40 for SW, it for sure went through. I can check after stream if you want. Okay, sorry. So attack speed is already a stat that she wants, but the reason, or already has a lot, but the reason why this is good is because right now in this meta, Jinx needs to go BT second. Kraken into BT is Jinx build. So by having more attack speed, she suffers less from not having a PD in her build. W cost, great, because the champion is extremely mana hungry with the Q. Jinx already had mana buffs last patch, or like patches before. So I expect Jinx to all of a sudden, like I just know that Jinx is all of a sudden one day just gonna be pro pick and ban in pro out of nowhere again. Because she's not bad, she's just really not bad. And then the slow is really fucking big on this spell. Like this is crazy amounts of slow. And then yeah, R is just like, okay, just, you know, maybe some more steal, some Baron and Dragon. Cannon, really dangerous champ to buff. Well, I think his itemization isn't necessarily great, and he's very resource intensive champion. I mean, this buff just make him better in lane. This is a good buff. This is a good buff. This is like better wave clear, which he kinda lacks with Q max, and Q should be his maxed ability. I think. I think Kennen players should max Q first. There's no point. Like, this ability has such high base damage and a low cooldown. You need to max this first. So then we have LeBlanc. So LeBlanc is getting a Feast type of buff, which is... LeBlanc has now an any Q on her Q, just like Feast has an any Q on his W. So she will get all the mana back on minion killing, right? Which basically does increase wave clear of the champion, but it also increases last hitting, which means she will get more gold in lane. And just have an easier time just in general. Because I think this spell also is higher range than auto attack, so it's even easier to last hit in, let's say, if you're in a bad matchup or something. This is pretty nuts. Obviously, mid to late game, champ will be kinda unchanged, but just better early game. Mimic, yeah, whatever, it's kinda useless. Pantheon, I'm gonna play this champ a lot, but this is basically pretty insane. Health regen doesn't matter because this champ is winning in most matchups in lane, or it's like not like health regen is deciding laning phase. With attack speed and better Q, this health regen nerf should be basically, Panther should be anyway stronger. These are crazy buffs on Q. Really good buff on attack speed. Pantheon is really good with attack speed. Really important stat on him for auto weaving during your spells and stacking up your passive. And then E, it gets a bit lower cooldown, a longer cooldown on late game, which is kind of like a nerf, because if you have a lot of haste, you're very close to getting 2 E's per fight. But I would say that you're most likely just gonna max W second now on Pantheon, and you have the same rank of ability for majority of the game, so it's not that big of a deal. These are for sure buffs to the champion. Kiana, 20 base damage on Q, right, is the buff. Now, base damage scales very well early in the game, but the more that the game delayed goes, the more Kiana will be kinda unchanged. It's obviously a big buff because an assassin gets more damage in her combo. And Q is a spell that she procs every time she picks up a mark at W. So this is a most used spell, and the spell she maxes first. So she gets this buff by level 9 already, which is super early in the game. And the E buff is not that big. Usually she will use 1 or 2 E's per fight anyway before her outcome is changed. So, you know, it won't really have an impact in most fights. Ramos getting low elo nerfs. I think Ramos is suffering a lot from Black Cleaver being a good item right now. Electrocute Harpoon will shred more per rank on E, which means that early game he has 2% more magic pen.
Rarix3 Nuzzles, how are you?
Not magic pen.
Pounces on you, you're so warm. Oreo notices you have a bulge, someone's happy. Nuzzles your necky wecky merhee smile. Rubbies your bulgy woolgy, you're so big. Rubbies more on your bulgy woolgy, it doesn't stop growing. Slash. Kisses you and licks your neck. Daddy likes smile. Nuzzle woozle, I hope daddy likes wiggles butt and squirms. I wanna see your big daddy meat. Wiggles but I have a little itch. Oreo wags tails, can you please get my itch?
Thank you, Cheesy, for the resub. Yeah, so he has more shot with 1 harpoon, and this is the ability max a second, so by level 13 he's gonna have 20%, and then he has 40 depending on if he hits both harpoons. So the thing about Rumble, okay, let me talk about this. This is a massive buff. This is a massive buff, especially for good Rumble players, because Magic Resist really does counter Rumble a lot, and good Rumble players can hit this spell very easily. This spell is very easy to hit since it has crazy good travel time and pretty good hitbox and range. And the slow on this spell is massive, which means that if you get hit by one, you're most likely gonna hit by the other one. So this is avoid stuff, guys. 40% MR. This is avoid stuff. This is insane. I don't hate these type of buffs. I think it's smart. Maybe the numbers are a bit too high right now, so they can kind of like lower them if he gets too insane. But I thought this buff was only for danger zone, but I realized it's not. So this is crazy buff. And another thing about this is that like Rumble has to now kind of think in team fight if he wants to like shred someone's MR that is more tanky than a squishy member, you know? Like if a Zac is in front line and Rumble quickly eats him in a fight, like his MR is gonna drop crazy, you know? So the only thing I dislike about this is that it doesn't say how long is the effect. Like how long does this last on a champion? I don't know, is it 1 second? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? I don't know. Because it doesn't state. Okay, so Samira, a bit of partial revert on passive, she's okay. She's still pretty good to be honest. Tryndamere, useless buff, Twitch, big nerf. This is a lot of damage missing from AP Twitch, which should make the champion way easy to play against. I'm extremely happy with this nerf. It's 4 seconds. Rumble is 4 seconds. It's pretty good. 4 seconds is pretty good. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot. Xayah. It's just a small nerf on E. Technically, I don't know exactly how her E works. Like, does he stack depending on how many feathers he has? So the nerf is a bit bigger than it shows here. Cooldown nerf is way more important, I think. Cooldown nerf is bigger, most likely, than the damage. Because you spam this spell a lot with Navori. Yorick, good bonus damage, lower. Or lower elo nerf. Zat, 3MR off. Last cooldown on E. I do like the change, however I think this is just a buff. I like that Zat is squishier, easier to kill, but he does more damage. That should be the champion's like whole identity. But it's probably bigger buff than nerf. And then we have the jungle adjustments, which is basically TLDR is laners and junglers can take enemy camps easier. And then camps give slightly more gold. And then if junglers walk to a lane, they'll get way less XP first 40 minutes. And already last patch, they nerfed kills on experience on kills, which means that power farming junglers are way better. Sweeping lens means that if you put a ward level 1 and then you base and take a sweeper, you won't get the sweeper up to clear wards most likely, which is a huge change. Sweeper is still extremely OP, it's just that it's worse than early game, worse than normal ward early game. I think it's just a matter of time till people realize that Yellow Trinket is way too OP early right now. Cosmic Drive would say a positive change because it gives more AP for health. The item is still weak. Plated Steel Caps got a crazy buff this patch. Plated Steel Caps completely counter champs like Yasuo and Yon now, which is insane. Seraphs, 10 less AP, 50 less health. It sucks, honestly. The only good major item. Grasp will do less healing but give more health, which I think is really good change. Triumph, I don't know the math on this, but I believe that it's like if you have a lot of max health it's fine, but if you don't have a lot of max health it's worse, which most likely means that it's just a nerf to squish your champs. And that's it. And then we have the dodging, and that's it. So yeah, gonna be interesting how the patch pans out.